Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to Squad Pod Sports, where we bring you our thoughts on the latest games and news around the sports world. Brought to you by the Journeys with the J Network. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody. It's Christmas Eve when this releases, so hope
Christmas Eve.
everybody has a nice holiday.
Forgot my
Yep.
Santa hat.
We got a big show today. NBA is back. We're going to talk about that first here, and of course, we're going to do our Week 15. Pretty much our breakdowns and our predictions for Week 16. Season's almost over. It's coming to the playoffs here.
Already, man. It feels like
Yeah,
it just started, honestly. But
yeah,
here we are,
it's
week 16 already.
it's flying by, man. And then we can talk about college football a little bit, and then pretty
Yeah.
much any other news that we have going on. So we'll just hop right into the NBA. It's officially back as of tonight. The only game that's officially happened already was the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors, and I mean Brooklyn just demolished them.
It was surprising, but not too surprising. It's pretty much what we expected with
Yeah.
Golden State looking the way they did. Like I was watching a little bit of it, and it was just a rout. At one point, they're up by 30-some points. What did the score end up being?
It ended up being it switched to the other game. Crap. Oh,
I
no,
know
it doesn't.
like I said, they were winning by 30 points at one point. I was like,
Yeah, it
Jesus,
ended up becoming 125 to 99.
damn.
So yeah, it wasn't great. I know Katie and Kyrie, they had a great game.
Yeah.
Katie had 22 points, Kyrie had 26 points.
I mean,
The Warriors, they were okay. Steph had 20. He was 7 for 21.
10 assists. It's just pretty much like we were saying, like what you would expect out of an opening day game here. Like
Yeah.
Golden State's not too full strength. We're not going to know it. Like even if the Lakers come out, they might lose tonight to the Clippers. Like it
Yeah,
has nothing
as
to
of
do
right
with the end
now,
of
the
this
Clippers
season.
are winning 16-5 as of right
Right.
now.
But
So
we'll see what
it's
happens by
early.
the end of that.
Exactly. It's the first game of the
But
season.
I'm excited. There's a lot of different things going on in this season. Like as far as different teams, different storylines. Like
Oh
still
yeah.
James Harden's still a rocket right now. So like who knows what's gonna happen there? Like
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on around James Harden, especially today. The news came out that he's had multiple altercations with teammates during practice, and it's
mhm.
just overall, it seems like just James Harden does not want to be in Houston right now.
What do you think? Where does he end up?
I don't know, because they made it really. That report they had, like I think the end of last week, about like the Rockets were looking at other teams that weren't like contenders really. Like they were just
Yeah.
looking for anybody to like take them on.
There was a report saying they wanted 3 first rounders.
Yeah. And apparently a team as of last night that I saw that was pursuing them was the Nuggets, which would be, man, if
Oh,
the
with
Nuggets got,
Jamal.
yeah,
Oh
like
my
that would be
God.
wild, dude.
Or what would they have to give up to get him though?
Probably a couple first rounders
I can see him
and
going
possibly a player.
most realistically to Philly as it stands now, or Brooklyn if they give up a ton of assets that they have. But Brooklyn's looking so nice. I don't see why they would try to dismantle that just to get James Harden, you
Yeah,
know?
I don't think Brooklyn's in it right now. I don't even know if because I know apparently Houston wants Ben Simmons if they
Yeah.
trade with Philly, and I'm not sure if Philly's really willing to part with Ben Simmons.
Doesn't seem like it. I
It
don't
doesn't.
think they are. I like, and no matter what the media says, I don't think internally they're trying to get rid of him. I think they want that Embiid Simmons like duo to work, no matter who's
Yeah.
around it. They've been working
Hmm.
so hard, building for so long. They don't want
Yeah.
to destroy that shit.
Exactly. They're not ready to give up on that quite yet. Because
Right.
they've had somewhat decent success the past couple of years. They just haven't been able to, well, with the injuries and everything, haven't been able to make like a strong push in the playoffs.
Exactly.
I think their best bet was whenever they had Jimmy Butler still, and
And that
like
was
it came down
nice,
to that
but
dagger by Kawhi.
that shot, they're all just standing there looking like that
Mean,
iconic picture.
right?
But
It's
yeah,
crazy to
I
think
would,
about. We've had those kind of like moments in our lifetime, like iconic
man,
like shots like that. Even like
we
the
have
Dwayne Wade LeBron shot of like
the
what I'm talking about.
the Damian Lillard over Paul George is a super recent one even. You know,
Yeah.
where he just hit that game winner or the Damian Lillard other game winner to where he's like, I call series, you know. I think that was over Russ or so, I don't remember. But like we could do a whole segment on just that, you know,
Exactly. That might
honestly.
be something we can have to do here
We
once
can
like football
plan that
season's over. Like,
just like
like once we're
post
mainly talking about NBA and like
right.
NHL and stuff.
Like these are the most iconic moments of the last decade or something, you know.
Yeah.
Just go back per year even. That'd be interesting.
That would be. We might have to do that here eventually. But I know that you wanted to kind of give like our very early playoff predictions and then
Right.
like champion
Just
possibly.
more or less, I don't want to go through necessarily all 8 seeds.
Yeah.
So let's give it like our top four in each conference there, and then who we think is going to be like the finals matchup. Just like way too early predictions here. Okay. And then as far as the East, I'm going with Milwaukee at 1. I'm thinking um, Brooklyn at 2, but it's going to be a close race there. But Brooklyn at 2 because I'm worried about injuries as far as that team goes
Yeah.
and
I think that's what a
longevity of
lot of
it.
people worried about.
Even though they have a lot of depth, I'm worried about injuries with them. But I think the depth will still make them a number 2. You know, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think Boston will be a 3, and Philly will probably get a 4 in that. Okay.
Interesting.
In the West, Lake Show, of course, number 1. Clippers, okay. Then I think Denver, and I think Utah, or not Utah, Dallas. Dallas will be playing great basketball this year too. Like Luka, just another year in.
Yeah.
So I think Utah is still going to be. They're getting better and better every single year. You know, it's just wild.
Yeah.
Even though
Definitely.
Gobert is the one who started this whole lockdown. It's okay.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
crazy
I
that like the everything kind of started with him in the NBA
think about him touching all them mics,
after he
just
joked about it. Yeah.
like, oh, I got the coronavirus, and
Shut
then like
down. You
shut
canceled.
down. Kids. But that's what my predictions for the top four are
Oh.
in each one. What do
Yeah.
you think? I'll save
Um.
my finals predictions.
East, I'm gonna say. So I have to give like can I just give the four I think, or I have to have like the number 1, 2, 3, 4?
Seeds.
You want to do the? Oh man, that's even harder. Uh, I'm gonna give Brooklyn the number 1 seed, man. I'm gonna give it to him.
Alex would be happy to hear that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Brooklyn the 1 seed. I'll give the Bucks the 2 seed. Oh,
You know what I just thought about? We ain't giving
I'm gonna
Miami.
give exactly. I'm gonna give the Raptors the 3 seed, and then Miami the 4 seed.
Should have gave Miami some love. I'd probably say 5 for Miami, but okay.
Five.
I
Yeah, those
like
are my.
your layout too.
Um,
Toronto's
yeah,
gonna be in the mix too.
Toronto had a great season last year.
Yeah.
Like even outside of the bubble, they had a great season.
I think with the shortened season, it's gonna be a lot different. We'll
It
see what
could be.
happens, but
Yeah, could be wrong.
shortened season, every loss will be magnified
Yeah,
come
that's
playoff
true.
time for
That is
seeding.
true.
So
Um,
it could be separated by 3 games from 1 to 7. You know,
yeah.
that'd be crazy.
As far as the West, I'm gonna have the Lakers the number 1 seed. We'll give love to the Lakers. Um, do I want to put the Clippers in number 2?
He's struggling right now.
Struggling.
If it makes you feel any better, I came up with mine right off the top of my head.
I'm gonna give them the Nuggets the 2 seed.
What?
And then yeah, I'm gonna give the Nuggets the 2 seed. The Mavs the 3rd seed, and then the Clippers the 4th seed. We'll see. I think the Nuggets are gonna
Very
have a good season.
possible. Same thing with the East. It could be all be separated by 1, 2 games. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Clippers, I'm just not like, I don't know. I mean, that's why these are early predictions. Like, who knows what the Clippers are
Exactly.
going to look like?
My
I mean,
finals
they don't have
prediction.
Doc Rivers anymore. I definitely don't think the Rockets are going to be in those
No,
the top
because
four.
I don't know where they're going to be come midseason. by the
Yeah,
time
I
we
think the
figure out the
Mavs are
second
going to
half
do
of the
really well
schedule.
though. The Mavs are kind of like the Nets for me, where it's like injury pending as well, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that have injuries
Well,
on the Mavs, like
Kristoff isn't going to be
Porzingis.
playing. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not even playing Christmas Day against Lakers already. So we'll see what happens. But I think as far as finals predictions, I got my
mm,
Lakers going back to back,
yeah,
of course. And I want to, this is probably like just my heart saying this. I want to see them match up with Brooklyn, but
yeah.
like, hmm, I feel like a scrappy team out the East always makes it. The scrappy team out the East always makes it. No matter, it doesn't have to. It's not the best team in the East. Usually, it's the scrappiest team out the East, like a Toronto or a
I was gonna
Miami.
say the Heat or the Raptors. That's who I had in my head. If it wasn't the Nets, it's gonna be the Heat or the Raptors, I think.
But I'm gonna roll with the Nets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually gonna agree with you. Lakers and Nets
Yeah,
as of right now.
that's
Like the
probably,
only one that I'm unsure of is the East. I think the Lakers are gonna be in it regardless.
and that's injury pending also, of course, because if AD
Yeah,
goes
I
down
think
or Bron,
that's true, but I think you guys have a lot more depth than you did last year. You guys did
yeah,
a
for
hell of a
sure,
lot to add to the team. Even if AD goes down, I think you have a great team
for
overall.
sure. I just gotta see what happens over the shortened season. That's the thing that keeps worrying me is like 72 games as opposed to 82. It doesn't seem like that much of a difference, but
Yeah.
it really is, you know.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it's a long way away, but I mean, it's gonna go by fast. I know it
yeah,
is. I mean, we
that's
already like
so
the season starts today, so I mean, we'll
I
see.
can't believe it's already starting. Like I was sitting here watching, like kind of feels good to watch some basketball. Like basketball counts.
Yeah,
I feel like we just had it, but
I
it's
know
back.
I'm excited to watch the Bulls tomorrow. The
Hmm.
Bulls play OKC, I believe. Oh no, they play the Hawks tomorrow, so that'll be a good game. Hopefully,
Right,
hopefully I don't
right.
get blown out or anything. So let's hopefully get
Hey,
on the right track.
at this point, everybody has a chance to make the playoffs.
That's
You know,
true.
no matter what. Zero
Um,
zero.
all right. So I guess we'll just hop right into the week 15 right here
Oh,
at the NFL. It's been a week, that's for sure. A lot of crazy games
this
happening
was
this week.
a monumental week in Pat Nation. Something that hasn't happened in a very long time. But
Yes, it is. Before we get to the games themselves, what were our records, our betting records this week, Vern?
for
Because it was
the
pretty close last time.
all right, so for the season so far, you were 132 and 76, and I was
Nice.
129 and 79. So I was three games behind you.
Okay.
This week, you finished 11 and 5,
Oh, another 11.
another 11. You're
Another
killing
11.
it. 10 and 6 for Vernon. So now I am 4 games behind you. You're at 143 and 81. I'm at 139 and 85.
143. We're going to have to
Uh,
do this every year now.
we pretty much had the same picks for every single game, and I didn't realize this until I was going over it today. But we had the same picks for every single game except for the Patriots game. And that's the difference there.
That was the
I
only one
picked
that was different?
That was the only difference. And
Wow.
you won that one because you picked Miami and I picked New England. So you finished 11 and 5. I finished 10 and 6. But I don't
Wow.
care. I'll take that. I'll take that.
And
I'll
it's
take it over
crazy.
next week too.
I actually finally made some money this week betting, and it was because I cashed
Nice.
out.
Before, yeah.
Yeah, I made $14 on a $1 bet off a cash
Nice,
out.
nice.
Like,
Good shit.
and I'm glad I did, because if I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have got anything. Like, it's
Right.
one of those games
Might
screwed it
as well
up
get
for
the
me.
$14, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. So I mean, the first game here was the Thursday night game, the Chargers and the Raiders,
We
which,
started off with a loss. Both of us.
yeah, I think we both bet the Raiders there and went to overtime. And the Chargers were able to pull it out, man.
This is the
Once
type of
again,
game that the Chargers usually lose. Like they set themselves up to lose this game
yeah,
every single time.
as you've
They
seen it
pulled it
the
out.
past the past season that so
Hmm.
far, every
They
time.
pulled it up. Justin Herbert
And
casually throws 300 yards a game.
I kind of think were a little bit at blame. I feel like we've kind of cursed Las Vegas since our podcast with your boy Q, because I feel like they've lost every game since we've had that podcast.
Mind you, last year I'm pretty sure they started like 6-3 or something like that, and ended up
Yeah.
finishing the season 7-9 or 8-8. So like
Well,
John Gruden does this.
the big story out of this game, a lot of people know, was Derek Carr might have lost his job to Marcus Mariota, because Marcus Mariota came in after Derek Carr got hurt and he balled out. Man,
He looked fun.
he was getting first downs with his legs. He was running. He was accurate. He had a couple of nice passes. He
Hmm.
looked really good, man. What was his final stat line? He had 226 yards and a touchdown and an interception, but he was 17 to 28.
And he didn't even play the whole game. Interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, Herbert, he had 300 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Of course. Like I said, just casually. He does it like in his sleep. This dude's gonna be good in a few. It's gonna be him and Joe Burrow, like
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. Oh man, future
Jalen Hurts, baby.
Jalen Hurts. That's exactly what I was
Who the
about
hell
to say.
knows? We'll talk about
Jalen
that
Hurts.
because that's a story. Listen, before we get into everything, I have never heard my Eagles talked about this much, ever, ever.
Listen. I'm going to cut together a quick cut of like you talking like just about the Eagles over the last like 5 weeks, we'll say. Like not the whole, but like the
my
5 weeks.
emotions throughout.
Just the emotional roller coaster that you've been going on through this whole, like, I'm just gonna quick cut
Because
it. Like,
I'm able to
oh.
see some positives out of this shit that's happening right now. So I
Mhm.
mean, it is what it is. We'll get to it whenever we come there.
Right, but we both
next
lost
game-
that one.
Yeah. Then we had 2 Saturday games, which were amazing. It was nice to watch
Mhm.
some football on some Saturday, man.
It
Like some
was.
NFL football.
After the Buckeyes.
Yeah, exactly. That was a nail biter for a minute too.
I know.
That was close.
It was like what, 6-0 at halftime. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Buffalo pulled this out pretty convincingly.
They destroyed the Broncos. They never had a chance.
No.
And which is another question that we had on that I wanted to bring up is like, are the Bills like the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC right now?
Absolutely.
I think so as well. I think they're the only team that can contend with them, possibly.
Absolutely. They're like what we thought the Ravens were last year. That's not I'm not comparing them as far as style or anything. I'm talking about threat to the Chiefs. Exactly what you were saying. Like the biggest threat to the Chiefs is the Bills, hands down. They almost put 50 points up on the Broncos.
Man, they are scary right now. It's just like they're hitting their stride at the right time. Josh Allen is balling.
Exactly. They're playing the best football they can at the perfect time. And Kansas City desperately could use that bye right now, it seems like. Like they're winning games, but they're not scaring anybody. Like they were. You know, like I'm not trying to disrespect it at all. I'm just saying. Like,
and the Bills, as of right now, just looking at them as a team and like how they are, like how they mesh together, they remind me a lot of the 2017 Eagles, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like how like they're just going out winning games convincingly. They're having fun while doing it. And it's just like there's no stopping them at this point, it looks like.
No one really expects them to do it, so that makes it even better for them because they're like, fuck that, we're going to do it. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, they're underdog's a hungry dog.
Fuck that shit. I get flashbacks of that stupid man.
But the Bills, man, I think they could be for real.
Yeah.
And I mean, speaking of another for real team, the Packers and they beat the Panthers on Saturday as well.
Second Saturday game, we both had this one right as well.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers, he's a bad man. He brought out the discount double check, brought the belt back. He had he brought it back, and he had a rushing touchdown, I'm pretty sure. But man,
I missed it. He only had 143 yards, but they ended up winning the game. He only had 9 incompletions.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's just playing out of another world right now. Like he's playing on an MVP level. Like,
right.
I don't know. I think the only thing that could hold him back is that defense in the playoffs.
Yeah,
we've talked about before.
They're looking nice right now as far as like holding them to only 16. I know it was just the Panthers, but like still holding them to 16.
Yeah,
Aaron Jones had 145 yards too, so if they can get that out of him, Aaron Rodgers isn't gonna have to put up 300 yards a
Yeah,
game. So that's
exactly. That's
great,
why Aaron Rodgers only had like 100 something yards.
right? And only like 20 of 29.
Yeah,
That's all, But they won convincingly. So
but I think we both had the Bills and then the Packers in those games,
this
which
next game,
was an emotional roller coaster. I mean, I gave Falcons fans some PTSD. Um, seeing Tom Brady do this to him again. Falcons were up like 20 or
17.
23
I think
or
it was
7. They were up
17
17.
nothing.
Yeah, and it looked like the Falcons were in control of it the whole time. I mean,
Falcons
the
were like,
Buccaneers looked like how they've been kind of looking the past couple weeks. They look lost,
mm-hmm.
but never count Tom Brady out, man, because
The headline for this game literally says "Comeback Part 2." Brady breaks Falcons' hearts again, and
he
then it
had
says Tom Brady did it again to the
yeah,
Falcons.
he had 390 yards, 2 touchdowns. He went 31 of 45. Like Tom Brady, that second half went off.
He played. Did you see what Bruce Arians said about it?
No, I didn't. What did he
He
say?
was like, "If we could play 30 minutes of football like that, goddamn, why can't we play 60?" You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he was just like all pissed. Like it's just so funny to see because that's what everybody else is thinking. Like, what kind of team at the end of the day are the Buccaneers? You
yeah,
don't really know. You
yeah.
know
I
they
feel
can
like
put up
they're just
points,
struggling to
but
find their identity.
right. Then you got times
Um,
when they can only score 3.
and Dan Orlovsky had a tweet today. I'm going to share. Tom Brady at 43 on a new team with no offseason and offense and a new offense after 20 years. He was 65%, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and 3,800 yards. And he's going to throw for over 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns and win 12 games. This is really long and flat cliff he's falling off.
Yeah,
Because that was the last part of what he said.
yeah,
But like Tom
Max.
Brady has not like he's having a great season himself.
Can we like now that he's even gone, so like I do have bias still, but he's gone. So like
Yeah,
there's no bias for you to like simply hate on Brady because of me. You know what I mean? He's the GOAT. He's the best. You know?
yeah,
Out here at 43
yeah.
years old, I'm not gonna be able to play football at 43. You know what I'm saying? He's the GOAT. If he wins the Super Bowl this year, that shit would be fucking crazy.
Right. That would be wild.
I'd be pretty upset. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be pretty upset if he wins the first year in 12 years we don't even make the playoffs. Tom Brady goes and wins the Super Bowl somewhere
Uh,
else.
Now I know this is a little off track because I mean we just talked about these, but I did have some things that we forgot to mention. The
What?
Bills winning that game for the first time since 1995, the Bills won the AFC East. Uh,
Since we were two, since we were 2 years old.
yeah, since we were 2 years old. The team has lost 6 straight playoff games, but this time they'll be division winners. And then the other news that we didn't mention was the Panthers fired their GM Marty Herney
Yeah.
after the game,
The
and pretty
Raiders
much,
fired their GM or fired somebody too, didn't they? I thought
yeah,
the
we
Raiders
reported on that last
defensive.
week. Yeah, the
Okay,
defensive
okay,
coordinator.
gotcha. Defense
But
coordinator.
the GM is probably gonna go to Washington. It seems like because he has good ties with Rivera, and it seems like the Panthers are giving the coach pretty much full control of the
I
team.
saw
As
something about the owner and the coach are looking for somebody more like analytics driven for that GM
yeah,
slot.
and
Someone more on the same page as them.
as of right now, there are 5 GM vacancies in the NFL: the Falcons, the Jags, the Lions, the Panthers, and the Texans. So there's GM jobs out there as of
Think about
right
how
now.
many head coaching jobs are going to be out there. Like come the end of the season,
Yeah,
you got the Jets, you got the Lions, you have uh the Jaguars most likely,
hmm
you have the Falcons. Who else? That's 4 right there. Maybe the Chargers potentially.
possibly.
I would like to see Anthony Lynn keep his job and see what he can do with Herbert, but I could see him losing his job at the same time.
I don't think he should, man. I think they should
I
give him
don't think
another
he
year.
should
But
either. but we'll see what happens. You know
Yeah,
what
there's going to
happens
be a lot of jobs to be had. It
come Black
seems this off
Monday.
season.
It's gonna be
Um,
ugly this year.
yeah, but I mean that was just kind of some stuff we forgot to mention. I had it kind of on off to the side here.
We
Um,
can move on to the next one though.
yeah, the next one. I mean, we both had the Buccaneers in that game anyway.
Yep.
Just they were
Yep.
able to come back, pull it off.
Thank
Uh,
God.
the 49ers and the Cowboys, which turned out to be quite a game.
Right.
They're
At first, I thought it was like, oh, okay, Cowboys,
gonna
they actually
stomp.
played. Right. And then 49ers made it the game. So Nick
Yeah, and
Mullins
then it
came
came
in,
down to
started
some.
balling.
I think it came down to I think the very end, the 49ers did an onside kick, which CeeDee Lamb picked up and returned for a
Hmm.
touchdown, which won him the game pretty much.
Not,
Um,
well, and CJ Beathard came in and threw that Hail Mary. Did you see that
oh
at the
yeah.
very end? Like, and it actually completed it. Like, oh my God. To Bourne. It was
But I think we
crazy.
both did we have the Cowboys in that one?
Yep. Yep. We both
Yeah.
picked Dallas. So we won that
Um,
one.
the other one here, the Lions and the Titans, man,
This
the
was ugly.
Titans, yeah, the Titans put it on them.
Hmm. Derrick Henry and 947 yards.
Somehow, bro. Like, how does he keep doing it?
Okay, so he's got 2 games
And
left. Where's my
Ryan Tannehill
calculator?
had 5 touchdowns.
How close is Derrick Henry to 2,000 yards, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. 321 yards.
That's all he's missing.
321 yards. So over 2 games, he needs 106. He needs to average 161 yards over the next 2 games to break 2,000.
That's gonna be crazy if he can do that. I guarantee
If
he's
he
gonna
can do
try.
it. I think
But
it's
in
the
that
first
game,
time
Tannehill had
Johnson.
Chris Johnson. Jeez.
Mhm.
Ryan Tannehill had 3 touchdowns passing and 2 rushing touchdowns
Damn.
and 270 yards. He went 21 for 27. Just Ryan Tannehill was like lights out pretty much.
How are you gonna stop that? Maybe they're the biggest threat to Kansas City this year.
It
They're
seems.
coming
I
in
mean,
there
the Titans are
at
just
the
like
perfect time.
they were counted out for a while because they looked so sloppy for a minute, but they have 10 wins right now.
I think
But
people were overhyping them at first, and they
yeah,
expected a lot out of them, and now they play better in a position that they're in right now, where people aren't as expecting as much from
yeah,
them, and they're just like it just it's not like everybody's. I don't know. It just
they
feels
kind of
like
found their groove as well. They're kind of getting better as at the right time here at the end of the
right,
season.
right, right. We
Um,
both picked Tennessee in that one though.
yeah, and the next game was the Texans and the Texans and the Colts. And the
Mhm.
Colts, they ended up with the dub on that one, man. I think we both bet the Colts on that one.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Philip Rivers, man,
yeah,
late
Phillip
touchdown.
Rivers, 230 yards. He was 22 of 28. He had a great game. I mean, even Deshaun Watson had a great game. He was
I would
33
love to see
41,
Sean Watson somewhere else, man.
370 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It
Yeah,
sucks seeing him there every week, just getting pummeled.
you could tell by his face he's not having a good time.
They
Like
took
he
all
just
his
does
friends.
not want to be there. And he signed a deal. So I mean, it's
Hmm.
like
They
he's
hoodwinked
just in
him.
a shitty situation.
But we both picked Indy in that one.
Yeah. And the next one we'll talk about here, man, the Patriots and the Dolphins. I'll let you go ahead. What are your thoughts on this one?
The annual loss to the Dolphins, could have came at a better time.
I
It
foresaw this happening. I bet the Dolphins on this one.
we did. This was the only game we differed on. I picked New England, of course. Like, why wouldn't I?
I mean, I thought you guys had it. Like you guys look like you
Listen,
guys like had you guys
it
had
looked
points up first. You were
it looked
stopping them
great
for a
at
minute.
first. It looked awesome at first. I was like, okay, this is going nice. At halftime, it was 6-0. I'm like, okay, 6-0, but all they have to do is score a touchdown and they're winning. And then that happened, and then we scored a field goal, and we were winning by 2 points. I'm like, okay. And then they ended up, the rest is history. They ended up beating us by 10 points. So
Yeah.
I think anybody with eyes and a brain could have foreseen this happening, but I still picked the Patriots because I had to.
I mean, the Dolphins had Salvon Ahmed, and he had 122 yards rushing and a touchdown. I
He
don't know
was
if I've
running
heard of this dude
all
before.
over us, man. It was so bad. They were just gashing us for yards for first downs.
And your boy Myers, he had 111 yards.
I'm just looking forward to next season at this point, and I'm really hoping this was an anomaly, and it's not gonna be this is the Patriot way from here on out
Yeah,
without
I
Tom
mean, this is the first time you guys have not won a division since pretty much we were like 9 or 10 years old or something like that.
Yeah, since 2002, right? No, 2000. Yeah, 2002, the last time when Miami.
Yeah, we were like
No,
9 years old. That's crazy.
I don't remember, man. I
I thought it
don't
was like
I don't
2002 or something. But
man.
I don't
So
know. Maybe you guys can win these last two games and go 8-8. That'll be a better
is it
record than 6-10.
is it weird that Tom Brady's number 12 and this is 12 years, the first time 12 years that we aren't making the playoffs? The
Maybe
Illuminati
you only scored 12 points in that game.
also only scored 12 points in this game, in the game that they beat us.
uh,
I'm just saying, read in between the
Possible.
lines.
I
Read
don't
in between
know.
the lines.
I mean, the only positive, you guys get a good draft pick. Bill ends up getting someone good. I know, like,
I would like to
I
see
know.
Cam come back.
You think
I would like to see that. I'd like to
now? Do
see
you
a
think
full
that's
off
gonna
season.
happen?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably not. But I
probably
would
not.
like to see it.
I do know
See
that
what
like
happens.
I know Gilmore went out. He had like a knee injury. He's gonna have to have
Apparently
surgery
it's
on.
not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah,
So like that's good at least. But like I don't know how much longer we'll have him even.
yeah,
I
because he's
hope
gonna want a payday soon. Um, yeah, I mean, I thought you guys had it for a minute, and then the Dolphins just kind of adjusted and
they're a
found their
much better
footing.
team this year. Much better team, man.
Yeah, I mean, we
All
wouldn't have
around.
guessed last year the Dolphins would have like 9 wins this year. The Browns would have 10 wins. Who knew? Like we wouldn't have guessed that shit.
Times are changing.
Yeah, it's crazy how things happen in a year. The Eagles have only 4 wins. It's
I
wild.
know. Like what the fuck?
It is
We only have
wild.
6, man. So it is what it is. 6 and
Um,
8. Oh,
but yeah, you had the Pats in that one. I bet the Dolphins. The next one was the Bears and the Vikings. And did we
we both
who
picked
did
the Vikings.
the Vikings? God damn it. I just can't bet the Bears, man. And I know
I can't
they look
either.
better than they did the past couple like
Over the last 2
over
weeks, that's it.
yeah. Yeah.
But they do look better over the last 2 weeks, so
Yeah. I mean the
give them
Vikings
credit.
kind of gave them some fight there towards the end, but it was
hmm
all for naught. But I
Kirk
mean
Cousins
Mitch,
still almost 300 yards.
yeah, and Mitch he had 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. Oh no, that was Kirk. Mitch had 200 yards and a touchdown, 1 interception. 15
hmm
to 21.
I still
Montgomery
don't
had
see much
140
out of
yards
them.
and 2 touchdowns. Montgomery had a game.
I don't see them doing much, if anything, if they make the playoffs.
Oh
I
no,
think this is
neither of
more
them.
or less just yeah. So I was talking about the Bears, but exactly, neither of them.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of like us, like how are you start 5-1, 5-2, or whatever it was, and
Yeah, they
end
were like
up
five
seven
and
and
one.
seven. You end up 7-7, you observed you would go to the playoffs.
Yeah. And I mean the next one we was pretty predictable. The Seahawks and Washington no names. I mean the Washington had Dwayne Haskins in who does not look like he could play football really. And he just
He went
had
to strip club after the game apparently and was like photographed without a mask, so now he's in a whole bunch of trouble.
yeah. And apparently they're not planning on releasing him. They're gonna handle it internally. But that was the big news story today that we filmed it pretty much.
Mhm.
But I mean, the Seahawks did what we expected them to do. Um, I think it's not Jamal Adams. Who's the dude that plays the safety for the Seahawks? Is it Jamal?
Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams. He's having a hell of a year. I think he has like 9 or 10 sacks on the year.
Now he's having a better. Like I remember at the beginning, it wasn't quite as good, but he's definitely coming on here in the second half. which is
Yeah,
perfect. That's perfect.
he's turned it up.
He's-
McCaff, he didn't have that great of a game. He only had 43 yards. I mean, it wasn't a great statistical game by the Seahawks. They ended up getting the job done.
Grind them out. They still got 10 wins, 10-4, even though they've been looking suspect all season.
Yeah, the Seahawks are not the team that anybody expected them to be after the first 6 games. I think they were like 6-0, man.
Yeah.
They just look completely different.
But still, sitting there 10-4 going into the last 2 weeks isn't a bad spot to be. I could see them finish 11-5 at least. Like, we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. What's the next game you have here, Vern?
Looks like Jaguars and Baltimore.
Ooh. Yeah,
the
Ravens really took it to him.
This was Lamar Jackson just shitting on him.
Yeah, pretty much.
3 touchdowns, 243, acting like it was no thing. Apparently, this is 3 straight weeks of J.K. Dobbins having a touchdown as well. Go Buckeyes.
Yeah, he has 64 yards. Yeah, he just keeps getting better each week, it seems.
Can the Ravens or the Browns, for that matter, win that division?
We'll see. I think the Browns probably have the best shot of winning the division.
Did the Steelers beat the Ravens twice?
Yes.
Okay, so they have no shot then.
Yeah,
because they can only finish with the same record.
Yeah, and the Browns play on the last game of the season.
Okay, so it's the Browns who can win the division.
If the Browns win the next 2 games and the Steelers lose the next 2, the Browns win the division.
I would love to see that.
I would too, because I mean Pittsburgh plays the Colts and then the Browns, which they could easily lose both of them. But we'll get to that.
Then we'll get Alex on the podcast. But yeah, Jacksonville are playing for Trevor Lawrence at this point. They were not about to do what the Jets did and accidentally win a game.
Yeah, it seems like Jacksonville are now the suitors for Trevor Lawrence at this point. Mm-hmm. It switched real quick.
You got the mayor already declaring that this is the greatest thing to ever happen to them.
Because the bet that nobody would have made was the Jets beating the Rams in this next game. And they did it. I mean, the Rams tried to come back at the end, but the Jets pulled it off, man. 23-20. They won their game.
Losses. We both picked the Rams, but they won. Yeah. They're not going to have a 0-16 season. Congratulations. The only consolation is it's the AFC East, so I'm like kind of happy. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, don't bring that shame to us right now.
But yeah, I mean, that kind of blew everybody's minds. Nobody expected the Jets to beat the Rams. Right. I mean, and it's not like they came back and won. Like the Jets were in control of that game the whole time.
From the start. Apparently, I heard another weird stat. I think it's either 5 or 6 now straight weeks of the Jets coming out and having the opening touchdown, like scoring first. 5 or 6 straight weeks of just like, and then just falling apart. But they sustained this time. But what about this next game?
The Eagles and the Cardinals. Is that what you have? Man, I know we both bet the Birds, the Eagles. I think they would have been able to do it if they were able to actually do something that first quarter, man. That first quarter, they just were not able to get anything done on the offensive side of the ball.
20 points in the second quarter, man. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, the game ended up 33-26. It came down to like a last-minute drive, and they just weren't able to get it done. But Jalen Hurts, man, he balled. He had 338 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kyler Murray, he had 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception.
Career high for him.
Yeah, career high. And I mean, they both had great games. Let me see here. The one thing I do have here is Jalen Hurts is the first player in NFL history with 500 pass yards and 150 rush yards in his first 2 career starts.
Damn.
Like, he's doing really well, man.
Interesting.
And it's like, I don't want to get too excited because this is only 2 games that we've seen out of the dude. I want to see more. But each week that is going by and we see stuff like this, it's like it's making that radar kind of go over where I'm like, man.
Is this the resurgence of Zach Ertz?
Zach Ertz. I don't
I
know,
know he
man.
only had 2 receptions, but he had 69 yards.
Yeah, I don't know. You just haven't. He's been hurt a good bit of the season. He hasn't really done too much. Other this was probably the game he had. He actually kind of came back. Even Alshon had a good game the past 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
which was weird. But I mean, both of those guys are probably not going to be on the team next year. It seems so.
Think?
Who knows? Yeah, I was predicting before. I think Ertz is going to be gone.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be gone before the deadline if he wasn't hurt. I think that was the only
Right.
reason he wasn't traded already. But I don't know. I think this was I know it's really late in the season to say this, but this is our game. How you guys when you played Seattle, were even though we lost, it was inner victory. I felt because we held our own. I felt like it was a good game. I was excited every time the Eagles were on offense, which is odd for this season. It was just I don't know. It's exciting to see somebody new behind the QB. He's actually extending plays with his legs. That's the only issue I have is I feel like Hurts extending plays and making these plays are covering up all the bad shit that's happening within the organization. All these garbage play calls. I think maybe Hurts is either checking out of them or kind of saving them, doing his own thing with runs or whatever, extending plays. So
Right.
I don't know. I like seeing it because it proves what he can do because we actually got to see he has an arm this week. And that's what I was saying last week is I want to see more of his arm. Dude threw almost 400 yards or whatever. He threw 300 yards at least. I know he can
4
do it with his arm.
touchdowns, man.
Yeah. And he had a
If
crazy
he can do
rush touchdown
consistently,
where he broke 2 tackles. But oh man, he's great. I'm really excited to see Hurts these last couple games. I'm excited to see him against Dallas this week. I think that he's we'll get to the picks for that then. But as far as this game, there's a lot of bonehead calls, Doug doing some shit on 4th down and all this. And then our punter got concussed and we didn't have a punter the whole game. I think got concussed in the second. So, and he was also the holder for our field goals. So that's why you didn't see any field goals the rest of the game. And Jake Elliott was punting. And that messed up a lot of shit too. Because the one field goal that we should have had, it got messed up with the hold. I think they had Zach Ertz out there trying to hold for the field goal and he botched it.
He fucking had it going between his legs.
Yeah. But I don't know. I had a lot of good things I liked about it. The defense without Darius Slay and a lot of some starters, they played really well, which surprised me. They've had multiple turnovers the past couple weeks. The defense looks great. I don't know how, but they're doing it. But overall, I thought it was an all right game, man. One thing that stuck out was the one play Jalen Hurts had where he got hit and he fumbled it, and then he picked it up and then he ran and then he threw a 20-yard gain to Dallas Goedert, which was wild.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I know what you're saying about adding the cut of me talk about the Eagles, where I was miserable and that ranting about this team, and now I can see the issues. I know they're still there. I'm not ignoring them, but I'm excited because we actually have a QB. But Cardinals, we had QB before, but we have a good QB right now, which I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Because that first quarter and a half, Jalen Hurts had all the issues that Wentz was having. And I said that on Twitter. And they maybe eat my words because he went out and put up 300 yards and scored 20 points in second quarter, third quarter. But a lot of the issues until they kind of got it fit game plan wise, they kind of adjusted. He looked a lot like Wentz. He got sacked 6 times that game. He was having some wild throws. Receivers weren't getting open. I think the main difference why he's doing so much better than Wentz, obviously other than accuracy, is he's faster. He's able to extend the plays where Carson was struggling to get out and maneuver around. I think that's the only reason that that's what's saving him right now. He's able to extend plays with his legs, wait until receivers can get open, which Carson wasn't able to do. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not making the decisions in that organization this off season.
We'll see.
But we can move on though. We both have Philly. I shouldn't have picked them. I know I should have. And the next one here was the Chiefs and the Saints.
This one I thought was going to be a lot more of a blowout than it was, but the Saints just kept hanging around, man. Drew Brees still threw three touchdowns. He had a pick, but 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, Taysom Hill ended up getting his little rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
But apparently, Jameis didn't even make the trip because he's on the COVID list, and they had Taysom Hill out there doing the wildest shit. Like, they had him out there at receiver. They had him running the ball. I was like, man, you guys are crazy. They're crazy out in New Orleans, man.
Yeah, and I mean, we everybody expects the Chiefs to blow a team out at this point, but I mean, the Saints do have a good defense.
Yeah.
Breeze did a lot better than I expected him to do, coming back off that first game back off the injury and everything. But I mean, Pat Mahomes, he had 3 touchdowns, 250 yards, doing Pat Mahomes things.
Exactly.
Chiefs it was just business.
He's it's gonna be tough coming on in this season because of that 3 interception game he had, but it's gonna be him or Aaron Rodgers with the MVP.
Yeah, and I actually have a couple stats here. Speaking of that, if Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP this year, he'll have the same amount of MVP awards, 2, Super Bowl wins, 1, and All Pros, 2, as Aaron Rodgers, but he's 12 years younger. Same number of MVPs, Super Bowls, and All Pros, but he's 12 years younger than Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous!
Right?
Even the All Pros.
Even the All Pros. And the other stat I had here was the Chiefs have now faced a top 5 defense on 9 occasions with Patrick Mahomes as their starter, and in those games they are 9-0, averaging 29 points per game. For even against the best teams in the NFL, they're still averaging 29 and are undefeated.
He's the next Tom Brady. He's the second coming of Tom Brady.
It's looking like the Chiefs dynasty is just going to keep it rolling.
It started.
But yeah, I mean, we both picked the Chiefs in that one. The next one here was the Brownies and the Giants, where
this was a pretty predictable game.
Yeah, they did exactly what everybody expected them to do. Browns went out 20-6.
They're looking great rolling into the playoffs here, so they're gonna probably end up, if they beat the Steelers, they're gonna, and whoever they play next week here, 12-4 for them Browns, man, would be nice. It'd be nice to see. Baker
had 297 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, they look really good.
I don't know what they would be able to do in the playoffs, but it would be nice to see them with a division win in the home game in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's a team that's the Browns and the Titans are 2 teams that I'm very interested about what they can do in the playoffs. We just don't know enough about them, what they can do. Where it's like the Bills, I have more faith in the Bills than the Titans right now, or the Browns, I would say.
I would like to see another Bills-Titans matchup.
Yeah.
I think they played earlier this season.
Yeah, you have to pull up the facts on that one.
Let me see here. Yeah, they ended up losing, actually, to the Titans. 42-16.
Oh, that was that terrible game that the Bills had.
That was also week 5. So that was a long time ago. I would like
Bills
to see
are going to want revenge for that one.
Yeah. Man, we'll see. Well, let's get to this last game here.
Yes, the last game. The Monday night game that really nobody saw happening. The Monday night treat. This was an early Christmas present for all us haters out here. Starting off, me and you both picked the Steelers against the Bengals.
Yeah, we even picked the Steelers.
We even picked the Steelers. I mean, the Bengals, who did they have? They had Finley as their QB. Everything was set
smiling
up. Yeah, in the bottom of the pile.
Crossing the touchdown.
I mean, everything was set up for these Steelers to actually come in and get a win, maybe get back on track. But nope. The Bengals had control of this game from the get-go. They were just like they saw Juju out there dancing on their logo before the game. They got pissed
I
off.
think I saw something about Ben Roethlisberger had 7 passing yards in the first half. Is that true?
It would make sense because Big Ben does
I
not
wish
look
I could
like Big
see
Ben. I don't know if
this.
he's having that elbow issues that put him out last year. I don't know if he's having like something from that, but Big Ben just does not look good, man.
It's
Not even
like
just
he
Big
was
Ben, that whole
fine earlier
offense.
in the season, but now it's like, has it been lingering or something? Like is there a real problem there?
That offense looks how like the Eagles or the Pats were looking on offense. Like they couldn't do anything. They couldn't move the ball. But
They're not gonna.
it's
They're. I don't think they scare anybody right now. They're
no,
not. Nobody's worried
on
about
the
the Steelers.
decline. They are now 11-3, and I mean we've mentioned it before. Um, if I mean the Steelers play the Browns the last game of the year, the Steelers play the Colts next week, this coming week. The Steelers lose to the Colts and then lose to the Browns. The Browns are going to win the division and get
Mm-hmm.
that one
Get that home game.
get that home game, which that's got to be some kind of record if the Steelers get 11 wins and then lose the division. Like you go 11-0 and then up losing the division.
Oh
That's just
man,
like
we'll see what happens there.
they fell apart,
We got
man.
2
I
more
don't know.
weeks.
But we'll just kind of roll right into our week 16 picks. Man, the penultimate week, man. With like, I
Already.
can't believe it. 2 weeks left until playoffs.
That's all right. We got
Uh,
NBA.
so, I mean, we'll just kind of, our first one here is the Christmas Day game. The Vikings and the Saints. Saints are 7-point favorites against the Vikings. I got the Saints in this one.
Christmas Day game. Primetime Kirk Cousins, huh?
Oh, it's a 4:30 game. But yeah.
But it's Christmas. It's the only
Yeah,
game
it's
on
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah, prime time then.
Primetime Kirk Cousins. I'm going with Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Listen, with only 2 weeks left and me being down 4 games, I gotta start making some wild picks. Okay?
I understand.
So I'm going.
I respect it.
Primetime Kirk Cousins for that game to beat Drew Brees and the Saints.
I got the Michael Thomas-less Saints.
Yeah,
he's
out for the rest of the season apparently. But apparently, if they make the playoffs, he'll be back.
Yeah, but I mean, the Saints were rolling without him before Drew was hurt.
Exactly.
So I'm confident with that. We have Saturday games again this week, which is going to be nice. The first one's the Buccaneers and the Lions. Tampa Bay is 9.5 point favorites. I got the Buccaneers.
I got the Bucs in that one too. Tom Brady's having a hell of a year, unfortunately.
Yep. He's going to continue.
We got 3 games on Saturday.
Yes, sir. The next one here is the 49ers and the Cardinals.
Ooh.
Cardinals are 5-point favorites, and I'm gonna roll with the Cardinals.
Yeah, me too on this one. I can see it being a closer game than we expect, but the Cardinals are gonna probably pull it out here.
I agree.
This next one, this is something that maybe if this was a couple weeks ago, I'd be picking it a little bit differently, but the Raiders don't look like the Raiders right now, and the Dolphins look like they're pushing towards the playoffs. The Dolphins probably win this one big. I see they're only 3-point favorites. They should probably be like 7-point favorites for this, but Dolphins win this one big.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Dolphins as well. The Raiders just haven't shown me anything over the past couple weeks why they're going to win.
Exactly.
And as for Sunday, the first game I see here is the Falcons and the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I'm going to roll with the Chiefs. They're 10.5 point favorites. The next one is
they have the Jets.
Yeah, the Browns and the Jets, which I'm getting the Browns are going to win this one.
So they're in a prime position now to win this division. They can almost control their own destiny.
And it's not like when normal seasons where like maybe you would rest some people going into the playoffs. No.
Yeah.
the Browns are determined to get that division spot.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. They want that number 1 spot.
100%.
They want to steal it from the Steelers, so they're gonna run out here and try to destroy the Jets.
Especially after everything last year. Like, I know they have a storied rivalry to begin with, but like, there's a recent rivalry that's been brewing, and it's been great. Like, so to see these two racing down the end for that spot is great. But that brings us to the next game, the Colts and the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Colts in that one, man.
I am too. Oh, you know what?
They're 1.5 point favorites.
Wild card. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
Steelers.
I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh because you're going with
probably
Indy.
a good one to pick a wild card on.
Yeah, this is a good toss-up game. So why don't we make it a toss-up game? I'll go with Pittsburgh on that one. You take Indy.
But yeah, if the Steelers lose that, they'll be 11-4. And then pretty much if the Browns win, they'll be 11-4. They'll be tied.
Right.
And that's what the
With
next
1
game
week
will determine. But I got the Colts in that one. You're taking the Steelers.
Colts would be 11-4 if they win that.
Yeah.
Philip Rivers,
Colts,
man.
Colts, man.
Oh,
They're rolling. Frank Reich.
Frank Reich. Next one up here, we got the Bears and the Jaguars.
I'm gonna take the Bears. I don't want to, but I'm gonna take the damn Bears.
I know you considered it because I considered it, but I'm rolling with the Bears in that one.
Yeah, I have to at this point. Like they looked good enough these past couple weeks that I got to.
Right.
And then the Ravens and the Giants. I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Yeah. Me too. I don't think the Giants, even though they're trying to win the division here, the Ravens are a much better team. They're kind of resurgent, you know.
Yeah.
From where they were in the middle of the season there.
Mm-hmm. The next one is the Bengals and the Texans. I'm going to take the Texans in this one.
I'm going to roll with Houston in this one, too. I know Bengals are coming off a win there, and Houston's coming off a loss, but Houston's 8-point favorites. I'll roll with Houston.
Next one is the Broncos and the Chargers. Sorry, Cody. I'm going to pick them Chargers.
I'm picking Denver.
You going all out with different picks this week.
I'm going with Denver in that one.
Okay. I'm going to take the Chargers in that one.
Let's see how this next week pans. I could end up like 6 or 7 games down.
What's the worst that could happen?
Or tied up with you.
Yeah, exactly. The
next one, though.
Panthers and Washington. It got moved up to the 4:00 game.
Definitely not picking Washington. I don't care. I'm sorry.
Oh, Panthers. I'm gonna pick them Panthers in this one.
Let's roll with Carolina.
Hopefully do the Birds a favor.
Oh, that's right. You got reason.
Yeah, I got a reason for the Panthers to win this one. The next one is the Rams and the Seahawks. It's a tough one, man.
I'm going with the Rams.
I'm going with the Rams as well. I'm not going to lie. I know Seahawks are 1.5 point favorites, but the Rams have the better defense. I don't know. I just feel more comfortable picking the Rams in this one.
No parts of me trusts Seattle's defense. And I know the Jets just beat them, but like that's a divisional matchup, isn't it? Rams Seahawks. Yep, because oh man. Yeah, I'm rolling with the Rams in that one. Unless Russell Wilson ends up putting up 450 yards,
which he hasn't for a while. So
I can see Jared Goff doing that on the Seahawks defense before I see him doing it on the Rams defense here.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna pick the Rams with you on that one. And then the other one we have here is old Dallas week. It's Eagles and Dallas, which is a game I always look forward to twice a year.
Yeah, here we go.
The Eagles did beat them already this year, but you know what? They're gonna go for the sweep. I'm picking Philly.
Brooms.
I'm picking Jalen Hurts, and the Philadelphia Eagles are gonna stomp the Cowboys. I think it's gonna happen, and I think it's in AT&T Stadium. It's in Dallas too.
I'm gonna roll Philly too. I'm gonna stay the same on that one with you.
Thanks.
We'll go down together if we go down on that one.
But yeah,
Next
I
up,
have some
though,
confidence
man,
in that one.
this
But yeah,
this next game, the primetime game,
it's a good
Green
one.
Bay is 3.5 point favorites.
Green Bay and the Packers. I mean, Green Bay and the Titans. Green Bay and the Packers. Green Bay and the Titans. Which, man,
This is a tough one.
very tough.
Who showed up, more or less? That's what it comes down to.
Who are you picking?
And I'm rolling with that bad man Aaron Rodgers.
I'm rolling with the Titans.
You got to think about this and think about how bad Green Bay's rush defense is, and they got to go up against.
That's why I'm picking the Titans, because this is exactly how the Packers got knocked out of the playoffs in the conference championship against the 49ers.
And
you just run the ball on them.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do. And Derrick Henry, he's already getting close to 200 yards a game.
This is going to help him get closer to 2,000.
Yeah, and even if the Packers somewhat stop that a little bit, Ryan Tannehill's passing like crazy right now. He's balling.
Hey,
this is no knock on the Packers. I love me some Aaron Rodgers, but I think the Titans, that run game is going to do it for him.
I understand, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll with Packers still, though.
Okay.
Throw us another difference there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got one more game on the week.
Yep. Oh, man. Monday night game. The Bills and the Patriots.
I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I'm not dealing with it.
I'm also going with the Bills.
I'm not even going to do it to myself. I know what this game is going to end up looking like. It's going to be 35-6. That's what this final score is going to be. I'm not even playing with it. Josh Allen is sitting at exactly 4,000 yards for the season right now.
That's crazy.
Oh, my God. They're looking great. They're, like we were talking about, they're the only threat I see to Kansas City right now.
Only threat.
And so we're just a pebble in their way at this point.
I think that could be a hell of a conference championship game is the Kansas City and Buffalo Bills. That would be an amazing game, I think.
Absolutely. But that's the games for the week there.
Yeah.
Hopefully I catch you.
I hope not. I hope I put a little bit more distance between us. Before we kind of hit our bias bubbles and everything, we can talk about the college football playoffs that have been announced here.
Happy to say our Buckeyes made it.
Go Buckeyes.
Go Buckeyes. A lot of people are happy about that, but I am.
Yeah. Alabama is going to be playing Notre Dame, it seems, and Ohio State is going to be playing Clemson, which past couple years have not been kind between Ohio State and Clemson.
Clemson is 4-0 against the Buckeyes all time.
Jeez. And I mean, and it's expected that Alabama is going to pretty much sucker punch Notre Dame in the mouth.
Right.
So it's looking like Alabama and Clemson in the national championship, possibly.
I mean, we've seen it again. It's like, it begs the question, is like, does it need to be revamped? Is this system too easy for like these Power 5 schools to just take it every season? You know?
Yeah, and I think there's like what we were kind of talking about, not on the podcast, but I think it's a little bit more amplified, it's a little bit more magnified this year, the problems that could exist within the college football rankings and how they do the playoffs and everything. Exactly. I think they should definitely take a look at it, but will it happen? Probably not anytime soon.
Probably not, because it's bringing them a lot of money.
Exactly. It's all about the money. It's the racket.
Right.
But I mean, other than that, man, we pretty much cover a lot of things, pretty much everything we wanted to talk about this week.
Next week we'll have full swing first week of basketball to talk about.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. So we'll just kind of hit our bias bubbles here real quick. You know how it is. You want to go first, Vern?
Yeah, just excited. Apparently, we were talking about the Lakers and the ring ceremony, bringing out that championship, but they're not going to raise the banner until the players can be in the stadium. So they're just waiting for that, more or less. But they are playing the Clippers tonight. Last I checked, we were down by 1 point, 56-55, and it's halftime. Brought it back at halftime there. So see what happens. but like I said, by Thursday that game will be long over. But opening night against Clippers, I'm missing it right now, but I'm gonna try to get to that as soon as possible here. Probably we'll be
I
wrapping
even
this
think
up so I
about
can
it.
get to that. Yeah.
I even think about it.
But as far
Sorry.
as the Patriots, just looking forward to next season at this point. Like I want to see them finish the season strong here. I know I just said the Buffalo Bills are going to beat them. It's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's I want to see health, just finish healthy. Gilmore going down sucks. That's the type of thing I don't want to see. So
Yeah.
no, I don't really have too much to say about them right now. Just hoping for a turnaround in the off season for some
Yeah.
additions. I know we're getting players back that were opting out from the COVID. So there's a lot of changes that are going to be happening next season. Nothing
Absolutely.
that I could see is changing over the next couple of weeks. We're not winning the division. Season's over.
Yeah.
It's basketball season as far as the body is considered. We still
I
going to show
understand.
love to the Patriots. We wear the jerseys.
I
But
understand.
Cam Newton and first season in New England, not as good as pretty much any season with Tom Brady in New England.
Yeah. That's for
No matter
sure.
what, pick a
It
season.
started off with promise. It looked good for a minute.
Look
And then it
great,
kind of,
but a lot of young players on the team, man. So
yeah.
it wasn't
I know.
Cam's
I know
fault
about
by
that.
himself, but that's about it for now. Buckeyes in the championship, so we'll see what happens. We gotta
Yeah.
talk about that when it comes up here.
Exactly. Um, as far as me, before I talk about the Eagles, I mean, I'm excited for the Bulls opening night. That's on Wednesday. So that's going to already happen by the time this is up. They play the Hawks. Hopefully, get a dub. I mean, they look pretty promising in the preseason, so we'll see how it translates to the regular season. Um, Flyers, they played January 13th, first game of the season. I'm super hype about that.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the schedules are going to be released tomorrow, Wednesday, so they'll be already out by this podcast is out. So that's going to be cool. Um, as far as Eagles, man, um, I'm giving like the little hope we have for playoffs, maybe win the division, go to the playoffs. Um, I'm kind of looking forward to the off season, cautiously optimistic, cautiously terrified as well, uh, because there's going to be a lot of people going in this off season, man. Um,
Yeah,
it, so I mean, I think Ertz
I'm
is out. I think some other
optimistic.
big names are out. So
Best thing to do is always just stay optimistic about,
exactly.
because like
Um,
it's completely out of your control. You're
oh
just
yeah,
like,
exactly.
let's
I'm
just
glad
see
I'm
what
not the one
happens
making these
here.
decisions.
Right, right.
But I mean, a couple things I have here, stat stuff. Miles Sanders, he needs 190 rushing yards to pass the 1,000 yard mark for the
Nice,
season,
nice,
which hopefully he can
nice.
get that here in the next 2 games. I would like to see him have 1,000 yard season. Brandon Graham needs 3 sacks to get up to 10 sacks on the season, which he got his first Pro Bowl nom. No, not nom, but he's got his first Pro Bowl now.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Pro Bowl, Pro Bowl. I would hit on that as well too. We got
yeah,
Slater, Gilmore, and our kicker Jake Bailey, punter.
yeah.
You got three as well, right?
Yeah, we got 3. We got Brandon Graham, which is his first one. Jason Kelsey, who this is his fourth, I believe, and then Fletcher Cox, who this is his 6th year in a row. And the
Nice.
only person that's ahead of him in Eagles history is Reggie White with 7 in a
Damn.
row. So if Fletcher Cox is still on the Eagles next year and he balls out, he could tie Reggie White for 7 in a row.
Oh no, man. I don't know if he's gonna be playing football next year.
Fletcher
Every time
Cox,
I see Fletcher Cox, he's hurt. Every time I look at him, he's on the ground. He's like, oh.
he's actually having a pretty good season this year, man.
Yeah. Then I turn the game off. And I look at a different game, and I come back on in the game that on the Eagles game, and Fletcher
Hey,
Cox is
it's at
tackling
least
somebody and like,
exactly. And then he
and I'm like,
does that little army crawl on the ground
he was
that he does.
just he was just grabbing at his leg for dear
It happened
for
against
life.
the Cardinals, man. He was
I
down
know.
for
I
like two
saw it.
seconds, and
That's what I'm
then
alluded to. Like I saw
he
it. I'm
came
like,
back.
he's down. And then I
It
looked
happens at least
later
once a
on,
game.
red zone cut back to your game, and Fletcher Cox is destroyed. And I'm like,
And
what the?
then during the week, you see him on the injury report as like did not participate, and it's just rest, and he's just chilling.
Just chilling.
um, And then the other stat I have here is a cornerback needs 1 interception for the entire group to have 1 interception. So all the cornerbacks would have an interception pretty much this
Nice.
season. Which is pretty interesting because
That's
that's rare for the Eagles at
I
least
was
to
gonna
have that.
say that's not something I usually am used to hearing whenever I hear about the Eagles.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Usually it's
lately,
our defensive line that's great, which it has been. They
right?
have like the most sacks in the league right now, other than the Steelers. And the other stat I have here is Jalen Hurts, 401 total yards in Week 15 against the Cardinals. He had 338 passing and 63 rushing. That is more than Carson Wentz has had in a single game as an entire career.
Oh my God,
So Jalen Hurts just did in one game more than Carson Wentz has done ever in one game.
that's surprising. I did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. 401 total yards in one game.
Interesting.
So it's gonna be a little interesting going into the offseason, man. Um, I'm very
He's got to
intrigued.
work hard to get his job back at this point.
Yeah, and that's even if they don't already have their minds made up. Like we're
Yeah,
gonna right, you're out of here or whatever. I mean, I still think they should have a QB competition. So I mean, I would rather have 30 mil sitting on the bench or trying to compete for the job than eating 30 mil in dead cap and having nothing, you know?
yeah. At least let him be a backup until you don't have to owe him that money.
Yeah, because who
You
knows?
know?
Maybe Jalen Hurts goes out and he doesn't look as great as he looked this year, or he gets hurt or something, and then Carson comes in and starts balling again, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, Carson Wentz is back.
If
So,
I
so
was the Eagles, I would not be getting rid of Carson Wentz. There's
I
no
wouldn't
way.
either, man. And I know there's a lot of pressure on. Like, there's a report saying that he doesn't want to be there because he's not a starter. I don't. I think it's all bullshit right
I'd be
now.
like, oh well, you signed a contract.
Exactly. And like, I think, bro, you getting paid that much money, stick it out. Like,
Stick it
compete.
out.
You want
Run
the
the
job,
scout team
compete
for
for
a
it.
year.
Take the off season, like work hard as you can, get slim so you can
Run
run,
the
do
scout
whatever
team
you
for
need to do.
$30 million.
But like that
Be happy
report, it
about
seems
that.
like there's another crazy report on game day every week. Every week
Yeah.
there's another, like automatically on game day. Like that morning they said Carson Wentz, if he's not the starter, he wants out of Philly, such and such. And then during the game, they have a video on Twitter they were posting around of like when Jalen Hurts is on the sideline, Carson's sitting there going through with him on the pad. Carson like talking, dapping up people on the sideline, like joking around with
Still
people.
there,
He's
you
still
know?
there. Like when towards the end of the game, like they showed Carson there with his arm around Jalen, like comforted him because like it wasn't his fault they lost. It was just it happens, you know. And I
Right.
mean, Carson's a good teammate, and that like I feel like the media is trying to make it that he's not, and it's
They're
like
like,
I don't
oh,
know. And
Carson's
this
the
is
problem.
yeah, Carson's the problem. It's his ego. He doesn't want. He's uncoachable. He's not a team player. But it's like everything. Like everybody has nothing but good things to say about him. And then the video shows proof that he's willing to help people out. You know,
Right.
it's just I don't know. It's so weird. It's such a weird situation to be in. They did it
Hey,
to themselves.
I think they should definitely keep him though.
Oh, 100%. But I don't want to see them let Jalen Hurts go. I want Jalen Hurts to be
No,
here too,
no,
because
exactly.
that kid
Jalen
could be
should
the
be the
future.
starter at this point, but Carson would be perfect for backup if anything should happen to Jalen Hurts, whether he regresses next year or gets hurt.
Exactly. Just have an open competition.
Right.
Um, I mean, other than that, it's Dallas week. Hopefully, they go out and just demolish Dallas. Even if Washington wins and we're eliminated, just destroy Dallas. I'm
Just beat
happy with that.
Dallas.
Just beat Dallas. I'm fine with that. Then we can look on to the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all I have to talk about. So we
Gotcha.
can roll on to the last part of the podcast as always. Oh yeah, the
What
Crazy
you
Sports
got?
Stat podcast.
What you got for us today?
Um, I got a basketball once here since basketball started up.
Perfect.
Tim Duncan had less goaltends with 15 than seasons played his entire career.
What?
Yeah.
I wonder, like,
Tim Duncan's played 19 seasons, and he has only 15 goaltends throughout those 19 years.
that's interesting, man. Hold up. I want to compare that to something. How many blocks?
That's like
did
Tim Duncan's he's a big
Duncan-
man. That's a dude you usually see under the basket like trying to block shots, trying to grab the ball, you would think you'd have more than 15 goaltends.
Do you want to hear how many blocks he's had in his career?
How many?
3,000.
What?
With 15 goaltends?
3,019 19 years, pretty much.
Here's another spontaneous, crazy fact for you, okay? Tim Duncan has had 3,000 career blocks. 2,996 of them came without him leaving his feet. He only jumped on 4. He blocked 4 shots jumping. 2,996 of them came with him just standing on the ground.
That's outrageous.
So that makes that 15 goaltends even crazier.
That just proves how elite he is. Like, this dude is... Nope.
One of the greatest of all time.
That's wild, bro. Like, you just blew my mind. Not even the stat that I have, but, like, this dude ain't even jumping. He's nope.
He ain't even jumping. And still only had 15 goaltends.
Go out here, win another chip. With Pop.
Retire and then get dreads.
Yeah. Be an assistant coach. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all we have this week. Looking forward to what's happening next week with basketball and everything.
One more show until the end of 2020.
Yeah, one more show to the end of 2020. Get this crazy year behind us. Move on to 2021.
See what 2021 has in store.
And then a couple weeks we got playoffs to talk about for football. So that's going to be exciting as well.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So until then, like and subscribe. Check us out on Twitter, Squad Pod Sports. Check out the regular Squad Pod every Friday, and Squad Nights every Monday night on Twitch. So
yes.
I mean, that's posting a lot of content now.
Should have tuned in last Monday. We were killing it on Warzone.
Got some dubs. Got some dubs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So happy holidays, everybody. Hope you have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.